Yep.
All right, welcome, and thank you for working with the Bedon-Lucas House. This is our 1820s house. It's a high house. That means it's built up off the ground. Come on in. It was built in 1820, and they knew that if they built it on the ground, that they would get sick, but they didn't understand that it was the mosquitoes that were getting them sick. So they built the house up, and this was actually all empty beforehand. If you want to shoot over there, that's our cute little gazebo playhouse. I'll probably talk about that later. If I forget, I'll send an email. All right, come on up. It's cold. All right, get a big shot of the porch, and particularly of the ceiling, because it's pretty. It's that blue color. There's a couple of reasons why people say that it's that color. One of the major reasons is they say that spiders won't make webs on the ceiling, but I know for a fact that's not true. So I'm going to point out some artifacts in the house as well as telling you the story about the house. So this is our red rocking chair. Red rocking chair is the symbol of Walterboro. We are the front porch of the Low Country, so we have our red rocking chair right here. All right, get the porch swing over there in case they want to put that on the list. And we're going to go inside, where it's a little bit warmer, but not much. All right, if I was giving a tour, I would bring everybody over here into our living room, and we would talk about how the ceilings are very, very high, very high. That's because heat rises. So right now, I really wish I was at the top of the ceiling because it's freezing in here. But in the summertime, this was a summer house. The summer house for the planters that lived down in Jacksonboro. In the summer, the heat would rise, so this would be a house that would be very cool, or at least not as hot as it was outside. Some cool things that are in this house, or in this room. Our piano. Okay. Our big mirror. Okay. And this window. It's a lovely window. Right, Jordan?
Right.
It's not a window, is it, Jordan?
Nope.
No, it's not. What's on out here? Cold air. Here's our sleeping porch. Again, when it would be really hot outside, people would sleep on the sleeping porch because it would be much cooler. You guys all know that. You go outside in the evenings and it's cooled down. All right, let's come back down inside. Oops, let me help you. All right, we're good. All right, some other things that we might say as artifacts in this classroom, or this living room, whatever this is. We could do a fireplace, but we have a bunch of fireplaces, so that's probably not a great idea, but we could do the silver servingware. We could do any of the pink chairs or the pink sofa. And then, our tri-fold doors. So this is kind of cool. We're actually tri-folded. Well, that means 3, and you're going to have to believe me. But they cover up this entire big open area. And these doors came from the tavern down in Jacksonboro when it was torn down. All right, let's go this way. Some cool things in our foyer area. We'll start this way. Here is a nice pencil drawing of the Bedon-Lucas House. So that's kind of cool. A famous artist named Grunko did it. He passed away a couple of years ago. Over here is our picture of Richard Bedon. He was the brother of the guy who originally had this house built. Here is our South Carolina flag. And if we come over here, we have the Lucas family, or some of them, Ruth Lucas, Albert, and Harvey, who was known as Bugsby. Want to get the names in there too? And on the other side of the door here is a wonderful list of wonderful, 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 wonderful people who donated to make possible the purchase of the Bedon-Lucas House, which was in 1996. Let's go in the dining room. All right, there's a couple of cool things in here. First of all, we can talk about the candelabras and the lathe over here. There's two places in the house where we actually don't have the plaster, and we can look to see how the house was originally constructed. In this fireplace, we have andirons, and these were actually original to the house when the Lucases lived here. That's about the only thing that was original, because this house was empty for over 30 years, and people broke in, they stole everything out of the house, including the doorknobs. So these fireplaces were covered up. So these andirons here are original. Up here on top of the fireplace, we have Grandma Lucas. The interesting thing about Grandma Lucas, and everybody who visited this house will say that, no matter where you go in this room, Grandma Lucas is looking at you. Over here on the shelf, we have some cool stuff. This here, as well as these up here, are Carew Rice. He actually from down in Brick House, South Carolina. So here in Colleton County, not too far away, but he did bunches of these fabulous silhouettes. And then in the 1950s and 60s, one of the fast food restaurants produced Carew Rice glasses that you could purchase. And somebody donated these to us so that we can show them off. So these are older, and these are from a fast food restaurant, but they have the same idea, the silhouettes. The silhouette was really important. If you look at this picture here, the silhouette drawing, this was actually on the back of the old drive-in theater in Walterboro. So you can tell people really liked the silhouettes. Again, we want to look up at the high ceiling. And for those of you who are doing some background on the house, we have not, obviously, redone these walls. And there's a lot of debate about what we're going to do with them. I think they look kind of cool and they come out really great in photographs. But we need to find what color we're going to do them if we decide to do that. All right, come in here. This was Grandma Lucas's bedroom. But we have it now set back to the 19-teens, to the Victorian era. Found some good stuff that has made us decide to date it to that period. First, and this was what initiated one of my Magellan scholars to do some more work on the Bedon-Lucas House, is this photograph right here. I don't know if you can see the picture all that well, but it's a baby. But this is a mourning photograph, and that means that the baby is deceased. And we know that not necessarily by looking at the photograph, but because of the design around here. If you look at each of these flowers, these are actually bird feathers. So somebody took a lot of time in putting this together to remember a baby that they obviously loved and lost. One of my favorite things in the house is this quilt. Sometimes we just call it the crazy quilt. It's got a lot of really super interesting things on it. And when we first looked at it, we wondered, how do we know when this quilt was built? But these are ribbons from the Colleton County Fair. And they're all dated between 1910 and 1919. So we know that this quilt is representing the 19-teens. So that's really awesome. Now, one of the things when you live in a house or have a historic house, you know that not everything in your personal house is all dated to 1990 or 2010. So this bed would have been around the house for a long, long time. And it is a rope bed. So when you went to bed, you could make it tighter or looser. So kind of like a sleep number bed tonight, but you'd have to do a lot more work on it. All right. Another thing about the Victorian era is a lot of times you didn't have toilets. So we have a complete toiletware set, including the chamber pot. So if you had to use the restroom in the middle of the night, you would just do this. It can get kind of cold outside. It can get kind of cold in here. This is the rest of the chamber pot, or this is the rest of the toiletware set. So you'd put water in here, you could wash in this basin, and this is actually for shaving. All right, come in the kitchen. Oh, here, did you get a picture of that? That's the other place where we're displaying how the house was built, because there's no plaster. This now is being used as a kitchen. We have a Westinghouse automatic flavor zone oven. Okay, that dates to about the 1930s or 40s. And then over here we have a 1933 General Electric refrigerator. It doesn't open, now I look silly. Anyway, it worked until about 10 years ago. But this room, if we look at it, it wasn't originally a kitchen. And we know that for a couple of reasons, mainly because they wouldn't have built a kitchen in the house. It wasn't a bedroom, and we know that because check out the size of the fireplace. That's a huge fireplace. This is a small room, so there's no way you could put a bed in here and have a fire going without it being a hazard. So that's our kitchen. This is our back hallway. It doesn't really have anything in it right now, mostly because we just had a party and we served food out here. But some things that we can point out to you. Over here, sorry to make you spin around. This is John Purifoy. And let me get this all straight. He was ambassador to Greece, ambassador to Guatemala, and ambassador to Thailand. Get the picture there. So that's kind of an interesting portrait. And then over here we have our china cabinet. Some pretty dishes. Take a look at those. Plate. I'm not going to get it out. Can you get in there? That's the First Baptist Church of Walterboro. All right. Come on in this room. Oh. What did I forget? Oh, the cool bookshelves. Thank you. So, can you get back in here? So we've never opened this. We're actually a little afraid to open this. These are books that have been in here probably back to the Lucases. So I guess I lied earlier when I said that there was nothing Lucas in here. These would have gone back to the Lucas family as well. Oh, the table over here is actually bar service. It's 1960s bar table. All right, and there's a weird fish. This is the back bedroom. We know that at one time, 7 of the rooms in this house were used as bedrooms because this was really just a summer house, and during the day, everybody would be outside. The dining room is the only room that we know of that was always a dining room and not a bedroom. So in here, again, this is usually our exhibits. Jordan is showing you an exhibit I did, what the house looked like when it was purchased in 1996, and then some of our work that we did in 2015. So back here in the corner, come on back here. This took me a long time to figure out what it is. Looks like a cobbler's bench. Okay? It's designed like a cobbler's bench, somebody that would fix shoes. But this is actually a cobbler's bench end table. So it would have been what you put next to your lazy boy when you were watching TV in the 1960s. You'd probably put your telephone right here in case somebody called you. So it's like a cobbler's bench, but it is actually 1960s redone for your house. And then over here is our organ. This was actually taken from one of the plantations in the upstate. Was where it originated from, and a very generous donor has given this to us. Oh, and while we're on the tour, my favorite sign in the whole place, clean restrooms. So I always wonder if that means the restrooms are clean or they're telling you to clean the restrooms. It's a mystery. All right. Oh, come on. I didn't unlock the door. So Jordan's gonna shoot through the window here. And I told you before that we knew that the kitchen would not have been where the kitchen is. This is our summer kitchen. And it would have actually been a couple of 100 yards behind the house. But it was built separate from the house in case it caught fire, which was likely because they were cooking. But it's been moved up to the house so we can use it as a display. And we'll come back in here. So, Dr. Jones, thank you very much for having your class work on this project. This is sort of what you see in the house. If you have any questions, need me to further identify anything you saw, more details, or maybe something I forgot to mention, just give me a call. To all your students out there, we truly, truly appreciate what you're doing for us. And have a great semester.